first question for you guys, when I was watching the film yesterday, I couldn't help but think the three of you have pretty amazing lives. So I want to know, as people with huge faith, what do you attribute your success to faith or to very hard work? Or both?
Both, definitely.
Yes.
Yes. And you have to be available. You have to be there when the opportunity comes, and you have to pray for it. So it's definitely both. That would be my answer.
Yes.
A lot of hard work and believing in it.
So, well, for both of you also, Mark, you came to this country, you were a nanny, you sold T-shirts in Venice. So did you always believe, okay, I would create something bigger than myself?
I'm 54 years of age almost, and every decade you get smarter and more aware of who's really in control, which is God. And praying is very, very important. But it's also important for people to know that you do have to actually get off the couch and do something. You can't sit at home and pray and think that someone's going to knock on the door and give you a job or start a business or deliver you a movie. You do have to get your butt off the couch and do something. And so you need to pray, have faith, and when you have a calling, take some action.
Your thoughts? When you were growing up as a young girl, did you believe that this life would happen for you?
Well, I grew up in Northern Ireland during the war, and I came to America with a dream, looking for what we call the American dream, and I feel so blessed that I found it. I think a combination of willing to work hard and getting some good breaks, and remembering to be kind along the way. Which I think is one of the most important things. But yeah, it's been, I don't know that we could have dared to dream this big, though, that what began its life on the Bible series has become this beautiful, epic, cinematic experience. And we're very excited that Son of God will open on February 28th.
So tell me about bringing the mini-series from the small screen to the big screen.
This is a journey. I think the big difference would be probably the Bible. It's more of a documentary thing, epic story of the whole Bible. But this is more of a personal journey of the life of Jesus and bringing the audience closer to him and his story. And I think having the time of having an experience fully in the big screen with the wonderful score of Hans Zimmer, embracing and you can share it with your family or your friends, your community, whatever, in a big screen all together is different from have to wait for another week for the next episode. It's definitely, both are equally good, but it's a whole different experience. And the cinematic thing, I think it just boosted up the story, which is already wonderful, and make it bigger, and it deserves to be on a big screen.
So what do you two say, a lot of times when people think of religion, it can make some people uncomfortable. Sometimes people think, God is, something that's bigger than themselves, but it makes them anxious. Why do you think that's so when people get uncomfortable around religion or God or faith?
I think in general, in certain media circles, people can say that people get uncomfortable around God, but actually, more Americans as a community go to church than do anything else. More Americans go to church on Sundays than watch football. Church and God are huge drivers. And I think the Bible series with 100 million viewers and now this movie, Son of God, illustrates that in such a huge way of what is it that Americans desire, their hope. What does this nation stand for? And the Bible and free enterprise are the two things that built the nation.
Do you think that, someone comes in maybe as a non-believer, they go to see the movie. What do you hope that person comes away with after seeing this film?
Well, I think that what we have done with Son of God is tell the story of the life of Jesus. The movie takes us from the Christmas story, the birth of Jesus, through his ministry, his mission, the miracles, his death and resurrection, and it ends with the Great Commission. So if you came to the movie and you didn't know anything about Jesus, you would really get a sense of the journey of his life. And it was our job to make sure that that journey emotionally connected with you. So we told the story, on the one hand, as a political thriller. There's a three-pointed triangle of the Romans led by Pontius Pilate, the temple authorities led by Caiaphas, the disciples led by Jesus, and they're all on this collision point into Jerusalem with the ticking clock of Passover, which creates this really intense dynamic. At the same time, it's a beautiful love story. There's an intimacy to it, and we hope that you're drawn in, that you emotionally engage with the story, and that you get a sense that you really know who Jesus is.
So what would you say, what's next? I mean, we've had the miniseries, now we have the film. Will there be another film? I know there's another show coming. What's next?
Oh, 2013, the Bible series, #1 series in America. 2014, Son of God, this epic feature film.
Hopefully #1 film in America.
And in 15, we're working on a series called AD, which starts at the crucifixion. And we're hoping Diogo will be in it. We still have to get him. And carries on and tells this dramatic story of what's going on in that first century. I mean, what was shown in Son of God, as Rome said, this political thriller, this was really tense times. The disciples didn't know they were in the Bible. They're living their lives. They're following a charismatic leader who they think may be King David, and following him. It's only revealed much later that it's actually the Son of God. So very tense times, but in that epic scale, there's this intimate, beautiful
Personal,
love story.
yeah.